What's going on, everybody? It's Charlie Eugene back with another video. Today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Samsung Galaxy A02s. This is an Android smartphone, and let me start by saying it is super affordable. This phone costs $170 in the store. I think, well, not I think, I've seen it online for about $20 cheaper, and you might be able to find it somewhere else even cheaper than the $150 that I did see it online for. All right, so let me start with the cosmetics first, and then I'll get into the specs. And I'm not going to give you guys a detailed review of this phone, but I'll just go over the most important things about the phone. And I'm going to start with the externals first. So this is a 6.5-inch phone, and I want to start with the back. All right, so if you look at this back of this phone, it has a nice design. I like the way that they made the design. It's like these 4 or 5 pyramids or triangles that meet each other back here. It's pretty nice. Also, it does have a texture. So if you do decide to use this without a case, it won't fall out your hand that easy. I would not recommend going outside without a case with this phone, but that's up to you. It is a fingerprint magnet. You do see your fingerprints very easy. This is a matte black phone, so it does show the fingerprints. And if you can tap on it, you can kind of hear that plastic in there, so you know it's definitely not premium, but it does look good, so I'm not mad about that at all. As you can see, it has a triple lens camera back here, which I'll talk about later. You have your Samsung logo here. It's nice. It's a nice back on this phone. Let me start with the right side of the phone, show you guys what's on the right side. So the right side, you have your volume rocker here. Then below that, you have your power on button. So of course, if you tap this, you wake the phone up. If you tap it again, it cuts the screen off. And then if you hold it down, you get like 3 options. You get power off, restart, and emergency mode. So that's pretty much it for the right side of the phone. Left side of the phone, all you get is your SIM card tray. That's all you get on the left side. Nothing else is going on the left side. It's just your SIM card here. And then on top of the phone here, you have one little microphone hole there. That's it for the top. And the bottom is where you get your ports. So you get your 3.5mm headphone jack, which is really cool to have that nowadays. Then next to that is another microphone hole. Then you have your USB-C, and then you have that one speaker grill, excuse me. And that's it for the outer edges of the phone. The top of this phone, you know, you got your cutout for your front-facing camera. This does have face unlock. That is kind of slow sometimes. It has to be, you know, kind of well lit for that to work good, but it does work. So you do have that. And above the front-facing camera, you have a small little grill up here as well, so you can listen to your conversations and hear the person talking. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the externals of the phone. Now let's talk about the internal. So like I said earlier, this is a 6.5 LCD display. This has a resolution of 720, so it's not full HD, but it's still HD, and it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. Let me get this thing ready to show you guys some things. So it's a 27. I said 27. It is a 720 resolution. It's not full HD, but it still looks good. Pictures look good. If you can kind of look at the screen here, that's not bad at all. This has a Snapdragon 450 processor, which isn't the greatest. I mean, it definitely is not the fastest processor out there, but for the money you're getting, you're getting a decent processor. And what helps the processor move along is the actual 4 gigs of RAM this model has. So this one has 4 gigs of RAM, and that helps that processor out a lot. Also, this is the 64 gigs of internal storage model, which is plenty of space for, you know, applications, music, movies, or whatever else you decide to put on this phone. And this does support micro SD, so you can expand that. If that's not enough, you can expand this phone to 1 terabyte of micro SD storage. So that should definitely hold you over as far as files and things like that. This is a dual SIM chip phone too, so this phone supports 2 chips. So if you travel a lot, this is a great phone for somebody who likes to travel, because you can just pop in that country SIM chip and have 2 numbers on one phone. I don't think you can use them simultaneously. I'm not sure, but it's still cool that you can go into your settings and have two SIMs, SIM1, SIM2. And like I said, I'm not sure if you can toggle both of them on at the same time and have two different numbers assigned to one phone at the same time. I don't know, but I think that's still cool. So let's talk about the back of the main camera back here. So the main camera is a triple lens camera. You have three lenses here, and if you go into the photo app, you do have, you go into the camera app, you do have a few options. You can shoot in micro, so if you want to get up close to something, you can film and you can shoot in micro mode. Then you have pro mode, which allows you to go in there and change a whole bunch of stuff in there. I haven't fooled with that yet, but I would imagine that that would help you out a lot with the 13 megapixels you get with this camera. This does not film in 4K, so this only films in 1080, 30 frames per second. So if you're looking for a 4K camera phone, this is not it. And you shouldn't expect 4K at that price point, at this price point. Let's flip it over to the front. So the front of the camera has, it has that small cutout for your front-facing camera. This is a 5 megapixel camera. And I'll be honest with you guys, it is grainy. So when if you decide to take selfies with this, it's very grainy. Doesn't look the best, but it's good enough for video calls and stuff like that. So, the last thing I want to talk about is the battery. So this has a 5,000 milliamp battery. Now I'll be honest with you guys, when you charge it to 100% and you're not using it all day, it will last you the whole day. I'm connected to my Galaxy watch. I'm connected to my AirPods. I'm running navigation. I'm talking to my fiance on video call, so it doesn't last as long for me. But if somebody doesn't do all that, you're definitely gonna get a day out of this phone, a full day out of the phone. It says it has this 15-watt adaptive fast charging, but when I charge this thing, it does take a while. It takes at least 2 hours, to get it from 1 to 100. I'm not sure, but I know it's definitely not fast, in my opinion. But it's still a good battery. I'm glad they put that big battery in this phone. So let me go into the cons that I did come across since I've had it, because I don't want to speak too long on this video. So the first con, when you go into your Wi-Fi settings and you connect to your wireless network, it only connects to 2.4. There is no 5G. I should cut that back off because you hear all the noises coming in. You cannot connect to 5G, and that sucks for me because I'm close to my router, and I would have liked to connect to 5G. But like I said, at this price point, you can't complain. So it only connects to 2.4. And another thing about this phone that I've noticed is the screen orientation flip is really slow. So like when you flip this thing, see see how slow that was? Sometimes it's fast, but sometimes it's slow, and it hangs up sometimes. See that? It didn't even flip that time. So sometimes the screen orientation flip can be a little buggy and slow, but it's not too bad. Another thing is the one speaker grill for movies. Like when I watch movies on here, the sound through that speaker is not good. Music's not bad. It's kind of weird because when I play music, it sounds good. That doesn't sound too bad. I mean, that sounds good for one speaker. But when I play a movie, which I'm not going to do because I don't want to get copyright, but when I play a movie, it doesn't sound good. So be mindful of that. You watch movies on this, it's not going to sound great. But music sounds good, so it's kind of weird. Another thing is the slow shutter speed. So when you take pictures with this camera, be very mindful that you want to hold the camera after you snap your shot. Hold it there for a little bit afterwards. So like give it like 3 seconds just to make sure you got that image, and you'll feel it vibrate because I turned off the shutter noise to make sure you got a picture. So if you you take that picture and you move it really fast, you might catch a blur of the movement from you moving the phone out off the subject. So be mindful of that. It does have a slow shutter speed. And the last thing I want to talk about, let me set this phone down, is the cases. I bought 2 cases for this phone, and they both are terrible. Look at the thickness and girth of these cases. That phone is pretty thin, but look, it's like it's adding like triple the phone in thickness. So I don't understand what's going on with these cases. I'm gonna try one more case, and when you plug, let me put this one down. When you put this in the case, it has space in between. You can't see it really good on the camera, but look here, see that? You can kind of see how it has space between the phone and the case. I don't understand what's going on with that, and it makes it hard to plug in your headphones or your USB-C. I don't know why it's so far away from the actual phone. And that other case that I got does the same thing. This does the same thing. And this layer of protection right here is just super thick. It doesn't respond to your fingers on the icons that well. So I don't like this case at all. And the back is smooth. This thing will fall out your hand. So anyway, that's if somebody out there has a case that keeps the phone low profile and fits snug and tight around the phone where it's not too much space between the ports and stuff like that, please share that with me. I definitely need a better case. I don't like this case at all. It's just way too thick. It's like a late 90s bus driver phone. I don't know what's going on with that. So yeah, somebody out there, if you got a nice case that keeps the phone nice and thin and low profile, please share that with me. But that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to, show you guys some basic stuff with this phone. I definitely recommend getting this phone, especially if if you don't want to break the bank and you're on a tight budget. You might want to grab this phone. It has decent specs for that price. And overall, I give this phone a 7.5 out of 10. I think it's definitely worth the money. And if you get a year to 2 years out of this phone, you got your money's worth. All right? And anybody out there, let me say this again. I have to repeat this again. Please send me a link to a good case if you have this phone that fits really nice. I need to get that nice case because it's starting to really annoy me with these cases. But anyway, this is Charlie Eugene. Please like, please subscribe, please leave comments below. And I'm going to see you guys on the next video. Later.